Your growth is the only limit to your happiness. If you're not happy, you're not growing in some area. And usually it's a place where you're blaming, you're pointing the finger. I don't care if it's government, don't get me wrong. People can be unfair, unjust, that's for sure happens. But you can't control that. You can't make it not happen. What you have to do is become stronger than any of it so you're free. Freedom comes from growth. Freedom does not come from control. Because control is an illusion. You can't control everybody. No matter how hard you try, you can't control what they think or feel. And not everybody's going to be fair and just. And you, my dear friends, and I have not always been fair and just. Whether we admit it or not, it's just the nature of being, a human being. But we can make the largest pattern fair and just and loving and powerful and serving and growing until it becomes the dominant thing inside you. And then you experience life as being great, not you're great. Life's great because you're living a great path.
We live in a culture that teaches people that you are not good enough unless you do something really special and unique. The expectations we set for ourselves and our loved ones have become unrealistic. Think about it. Whenever you are happy with something in your life, it is because right now the conditions of your life match your blueprint or your belief about how life should be in that particular area. But here's the downside. If the formula for happiness is to be able to meet your expectations, then what makes you feel bad? Navigating your fear of pain can sometimes work to your benefit. Regaining control and deciding to find your own happiness can often be the product of letting go and moving on. It may seem contradictory that letting go of the past and what we believe should happen can lead to more happiness, but it's true. But our definition of what qualifies as special or unique is distorted. Why do we praise celebrities without fully appreciating people who do invaluable work, such as school teachers? Doesn't that deserve to be called special? Why do we look at home parents as being just caregivers, when many are working tirelessly to nurture and raise the future of the world? In our culture, we are often pushed to do what we believe society wants us to do, rather than following the pull of passion. When we follow the push instead of the pull, we cannot create happiness that is truly meaningful to us. These types of expectations are dangerous. They prevent you from being who you really are and finding a way to create your own happiness. And while goals and dreams are important for every individual to have and aspire to, it's not beneficial to tie our happiness to the blueprint we have created for our lives. The fact of the matter is you have to create your own happiness. You can't fit your joy into a cookie-cutter mold. There's no magic button or map to follow that will lead you to a joyful life. You have to design it for yourself. What creates pain, stress, and frustration in your life? That's right. When you try living your life without experiencing pain at all, we often think that pain means failure. We become so afraid of suffering that we avoid pain at all costs. In reality, experiencing pain can be incredibly powerful. When you feel pain, you can take your suffering and use it as an opportunity to grow. From suffering, you can come out stronger and learn how to make your own happiness. A lot of very successful people are driven by the fear of never closing the gap between where they are and where they want to be. But here's where it can become dangerous. When you convince yourself that you are not in control of your own sense of joy and fulfillment. Letting go is a positive and cathartic experience that is incredibly freeing. And contrary to what many may think, letting go doesn't mean you stop caring. It simply means that you are allowing space for all the joy that is meant to come your way, and that you are ready to make your own happiness. Knowing that you can create your happiness by letting go of what you believe you need to be happy is the ultimate freedom and the only path to true joy.
happiness as an aim is shallow and weak. It cannot withstand suffering. Obviously, because when you're suffering, you're not happy. And if the purpose of life is to be happy, then when you're suffering, your life has no meaning. And then if you're suffering and there's no meaning in the suffering, then you're really suffering. That's really hell. First of all, don't aim at being happy, because that's just not going to work, especially when the storms come and barbarians are beating at the gate. You can just forget about that. And there's going to be times in your life where you're suffering so much you can't believe it. And so you're going to need something a hell of a lot more robust than happiness to get you through that. And then you might say, well, what's more robust than happiness? Or maybe even what's more robust than pain? How about adventure? How about we go out and sail the uncharted seas, you know?
To be responsible is the beginning of Buddhahood. The first step towards Buddhahood, towards the realization of your infinite potential, is to recognize that up to now you have been wasting your life, that up to now you have remained utterly unconscious. Start becoming conscious. That is the only way to arrive. It is arduous. It is hard. To remain accidental is easy. It needs no intelligence. Hence, it is easy. Any idiot can do it. All the idiots are already doing it. It is easy to be accidental because you never feel responsible for anything that happens. You can always throw the responsibility onto something else. Fate, God, society, economic structure, the state, the church, the mother, the father, the parents. You can go on throwing the responsibility onto somebody else. Hence it is easy. To be conscious means to take the whole responsibility on your own shoulders. To be responsible is the beginning of Buddhahood. When I use the word responsible, I'm not using it in the ordinary connotation of being dutiful. I'm using it in its real essential meaning, the capacity to respond. That's my meaning. And the capacity to respond is possible only if you are conscious. If you are fast asleep, how can you respond? If you are asleep, the birds will go on singing, but you will not hear, and the flowers will go on blooming, and you will never be able to sense the beauty, the fragrance, the joy that they are showering on existence. To be responsible means to be alert conscious. To be responsible means to be mindful. Act with as much awareness as you can find possible. Even small things, walking on the street, eating your food, taking your bath, should not be done mechanically. Do them with full awareness. Slowly, slowly, small acts become luminous. And by, those luminous acts go on gathering inside you, and finally, the explosion. The seed has exploded. The potential has become actual. You are no longer a seed, but a lotus flower, a golden lotus flower, a 1,000-petaled lotus flower. And that is the moment of great benediction. Buddha calls it nirvana. One has arrived. Now there is no more to achieve, nowhere to go. You can rest, you can relax. The journey is over. Tremendous joy arises in that moment. Great ecstasy is born. But one has to begin from the beginning.